Hello, darling, and welcome back to yet another episode on my channel. I'm GladysNyambura. If you are new here, please make a point of subscribing to my channel so you can get notified every time I post a new video, as well as get a chance to watch the rest of the videos that I've made on lifestyle, God, self-realization, tinnitus, and basically singing. Yes. Now, let's talk about Mungai Eve and Phoina Beauty Collections interview. Now, I watched this interview, it's like the segment on Mungai Eve's channel is called like A Day With, and I really liked it. For starters, I loved it, like extremely loved it. Now, I would like to mention that I'm a big fan of Mungai Eve, and I love her work. I see how hard she works, and she's someone to emulate. Now, there's just a few pointers, negative, positive things that I noticed during the interview. For starters, I liked how the interview started. She always does this thing where she makes a point of recording before she leaves the premise, and then when she gets to the person she's interviewing house, and this was a similar case. So she got there, and then Phoina had just apparently woken up, and she was in her PJs, and she was like, "Hi, hi, darling," like those pleasantries, just just saying hi, what, just small talk, girl talk, to just break the ice and sort of introduce that familiarity of their friendship, and I really liked that. Yeah. Now, I'd like to mention that Mungai Eve, during the whole interview, was asking the very right questions. And Phoina, I noticed a lot of things about her. For starters, she was very professional in the way that she was answering Mungai Eve, and also she was more of a big sister to Mungai Eve during the whole process, as well as the fact that she was extending so much grace to Mungai Eve. She was very compassionate, she was very calm, and above all, she basically was just talking about her business. And one thing that caught my attention is how she kept on saying that she likes working with brands, and pointing out the fact that it's such an enjoyable process, because in as much as she helps other businesses grow during the promotion, or like working with other brands, at the end of the day she gets to grow as a person, and also grow as a brand as well, and expand her business. I really liked that, and the fact that she just likes working with other people, and how passionate she is about makeup. Now, let's jump on to some of the things that I noticed. I mentioned that Phoina was more of a friend, seemed to be more of a friend and a big sister to Mungai Eve. And I noticed this from the very first step. If you noticed, when you're watching the video, there's this part where Mungai Eve kept on asking Phoina, not to quote the exact thing, but she kept on asking, like, how do you, like an instance, how do you manage to juggle between work and this other life? And Mungai Eve kept on saying that, how do you jungle? So instead of juggle, she kept on saying, how do you jungle? And Phoina was so collected and was so calm, and she seemed to be more of a friend, because she just wanted to like correct what Mungai Eve was saying. And I noticed that the moment she began talking, it's like she began by pointing out that specific word that Mungai Eve was not correctly pronouncing. And she went like, juggling work and business, just being polite. Have you ever had a friend that, and I mean, like, I've done this severally, like a situation where I'm talking to like a friend of mine, and let's say they've made a mistake, and I'm not in a position to like make humor out of it. And I just like, if it's a phrase they said incorrectly, I like rephrase it, not to offend them, but just to like start off with that phrase and then make it make sense, not telling them directly. Yeah, so Mungai Eve kept on saying jungle and Phoina kept saying juggle. Like you could see there was just that love between the two of them, and Phoina was just trying to be like a big sister and not point out to her weaknesses, and I really really liked that. Now, oh my god. There's this thing that Mungai Eve was doing. I like how she asks the very perfect questions. Like she asks the right questions at the right time up until when she doesn't. Now, at the beginning of their bonding moment, like on the porch, um, I realized that Mungai Eve was just asking some personal questions, which was so sweet because, just getting to know someone. And then those were the right questions up until she wasn't asking the right questions. Rather, she wasn't asking necessary questions. And she went like, she just asked a very deep question. And I could notice that Phoina wasn't comfortable, but then she answered either way, like a question about like the dad, and now like Phoina had to like do like a confession or something like that. It's very possible that maybe she had mentioned the situation with the dad who is like had like been with another family, like a second family, and he's normal, but again, if someone asks a similar question and it makes the interviewee very uncomfortable, that is just probably not the right question. Yeah. However, I liked how Foina handled Mungai Eve with so much love and sisterly love and grace. No, you'll have to forgive me on this, but do you remember that time they were taking breakfast? Like they first went to the gym and then came back to Foina's home for breakfast after having like a conversation in the, what is it called? Like in the gym rooms, not the gym rooms, but the changing room, something like that. Yeah. Do you remember like when they came back to Foina's house, they had breakfast, and it was such a like I I just felt sad watching that. Again, I also felt like I just learned so much about Foina, and I learned so much about being graceful towards other people. And I remember like like you're on a dinner table, you don't talk about disgusting stuff. Like if someone asks you like, by the way, do you like mango juice? And then you go like, me, I don't like that. Or kitambo, I used to like it and then I don't anymore. Like it was giving those vibes of rich auntie and Shag's girl who comes to Nai like once every year for like the December holiday. It was just giving those vibes. And then I could tell how not really uncomfortable, but Foina noticed how much of oversharing Mungai Eve was doing, because she went like, I can't take hot food, it's bad for my stomach. I can't take cold food, it's bad for my stomach. Just and then she was like, I don't know, like just everything in between, like you don't do that in a dinner on a dinner table. Like you politely ask. I'm not saying that she was rude. She wasn't rude or disrespectful or anything. I'm just saying that she just handled everything not in a manner that you would expect on a dinner table. And this is someone that you would probably be scared to invite when you're having dinner with friends or like a meetup with your other friends. And so yeah, it's comfortable having them, like having like dinner, the two of you, but incorporating other friends, this is like with someone who overshares, could get risky. And I've noticed several times about the whole issue of oversharing. And have you ever noticed that when you invite someone over to your place and you offer them food, some people start pouring their heart out, and it gets me so uncomfortable when someone does that. And it's something similar that Mungai Eve was doing. And then she went on like, oh, me, I don't, like, like throwing the do's and don'ts in capital letters at someone's face. And you could just see how Phoina was calm. And no offense, but I could tell from her like expressions in her head, she was like, oh my God, just shut up and eat. Yeah, I could just like in the interview, you could just tell such stuff. However, she was very, very kind to Mungai Eve. Oh, I just said Mugai. She was very kind towards Mungai Eve and generous. Like anything she wanted, she even had the help come and get her food just because she requested in a very respectful manner. I'm not saying she's not polite. I'm not saying she's impolite. I'm just saying that that's just not how you do it. I'm not a genius, and I don't like calling out people for their mistakes and stuff, but it's just pointers. And then let me see if there's anything that yeah, that's during the breakfast. Yeah. And maybe like there's one thing that I wrote here, and it was just um like like during a dinner table and someone is talking about stomach aches, it sort of gives you the ick. And like it just says a lot about someone. Yeah. And then when they left the house and then they went to spend a day at her like place of work or her office. um oh my God, like I feel like Phoina could be my role model in so many ways because of how professional she handles her business and herself. Even while talking about like her own relationships, I just noticed how mature she was. And clearly, like especially while they were what were they doing while they were seated in like her office, I noticed how much of a millennial Mungai Eve made Foina to look, but she just handled it with so much love and grace. Yeah. So do let me know what you noticed about the interview. Oh my God, other than that, I love Mungai Eve's work, and I hadn't been doing so much following about Foina's work, but I could tell she's a professional and she's very passionate about what she does. It's not about money for her. It's just about following her heart, what she does, and everything. Just everything was just professional with her. And up until when she gifted Mungai Eve, and I could see how much of a marketing strategist she was, and that was kudos 100%. So do let me know what you think about this episode. Have a lovely morning, evening, night, depending on the time that you are going to watch this video. Bye.